Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. This is a Guitar Viking L. Today, I'm so excited to talk about this. My favorite guitarist Reb Beach's solo album, A View from the Inside. This instrumental solo album is so good. You know, I've been waiting this for so long. I think everyone has been waiting this for so long. But it's got a rock style, jazzy style, fusion style, all kinds of great guitar music in here. So I'd like to talk about this today, but I have got a special guest with me today. This special guest is such a big Reb Beach fan, just like myself. He even owns Reb Beach's original guitar that made in 1991 called Ibanez RBM Voyager. It is so rare that you really can't find this guitar. So we are gonna talk about Reb Beach's new album, A View from the Inside, and also he's gonna share his RBM Voyager with us. It is such a rare guitar, so if you're a big Reb Beach fan, you're gonna enjoy this. So we will also talk about how Reb Beach's private lesson was too, and also do a little bit of jamming using Reb Beach tapping style at the very end. So I hope you watch the whole video, and I hope you enjoy this video. In this channel, I talk about guitars. So if you're interested in guitars or effect pedals, anything about guitar, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you won't miss anything. Alright, so let's go. Hi Jeremy, how are you tonight?
I'm fantastic, Al. How are you today?
Good. So thank you for joining my Guitar Viking TV channel tonight. Today I'm so glad that we can talk about our favorite guitarist Reb Beach's new album, which is called A View from the Inside, and maybe talk about your cool Reb Beach model Ibanez Voyager, RBM Voyager. So cool, let's do it.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I like the content you put out on your channel. You know, it's very diverse, and it appeals to a lot of different, folks between the music, the guitar store tours, and the gear demos. So we really appreciate that.
Oh, wow.
It gives us something to enjoy, during everything else going on in the world. But yeah, so speaking of the new album by Reb Beach, like you said, A View from the Inside, it's blown me away. It's really, I think, the first instrumental album, in the past several years that's really caught me by surprise. I can tell that Reb really poured his heart and soul into this album. It definitely has some influence from some of his older albums, such as, the fusion demos. It's got a very jazzy, very bluesy, just a different vibe than you normally hear from Reb Beach. Because we're familiar with him from, Dokken, Winger, Whitesnake, and it's still very melodic, but it's just a whole different side, and it gives you a much deeper appreciation for what he's capable of. So definitely, if you haven't had a chance to buy this album or listen to it yet, I believe it's available on iTunes, a few other places, probably your local music store, the hard copy. But grab it while it lasts. It's really inspirational.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've been waiting his solo album for such a long time. Remember that when he came out in the 1980s or 1990s, the Black Magic. That is such a cool, music, instrumental music, and I still love it. And so this time he has Black Magic re-recorded with real drum, better guitar. David Coverdale's voice in it. It's in the first track. Sounds just amazing. I'm so happy, and that's actually my favorite music in this. One of the favorite. Actually, I like everything, but it's just great. So, Jeremy, what's your favorite track in this CD?
Well, after a lot of listening through the album, and I've practically worn this album out already. I've only had it about a week.
Oh, tell me about it.
I keep listening in my car, at home through my stereo. I'm sure, my dog's tired of it at this point because she's heard it so many times as well. But, every time, I listen through it, it gets better and better. I hear little nuances that he, added to some of the old songs, like Cutting Loose, Black Magic. And trying to figure out, as a musician, how he did, certain things. But yeah, it's just been, a really interesting, experience to listen to this album. It's definitely, given me a little bit more insight as to, who Reb is as a player. But, that said, I mean, like you were saying, there are so many good tracks on here, and it's hard to decide. I keep going back and forth. But I think right now, track number 5, Attack of the Massive.
Oh, yeah. The up-tempo
that
one.
Track, oh, yeah. There's something about it. Just the way that he, went about, arranging it. It's just, the way he plays it is so fluid, and I haven't heard Reb play, anything in such a jazzy, fusiony way. Aside from the tracks that were on that original album, the fusion demos that have inspired me, so greatly. So I'd love to learn a few licks from that Attack of the Massive and try to kind of dissect what he did, because it's really, it's really a masterpiece of his. I think it's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think we are so used to listen to Reb's guitar play, especially in the rock style, like Winger, Dokken, Whitesnake, Black Swan, and totally this album is kind of all kinds of flavor, not only rock, but I'm surprised that he's got all kinds of style of music. He can play in here and then express himself, and I really think the guitar is like singing the whole through album. It's just not like playing really fast and trying to be like a technical super guitarist, which he is, but the music is just so good, and it doesn't feel like he's playing fast or so technical. It's just so smooth and so melodic that the whole music is just like a one nice big like movie or like a story, So I really love this thing. It kind of takes you to all kinds of paths to different scene, and it's just like a huge dramatic movie or something.
Yeah, it's right. It's like each song, takes you on a journey through like each scene of a movie. Just different emotions. It's quite a roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
We're so lucky that that he decided to release this, and that again, despite of things going on in the world, that he had time to actually sit down and finish this album, because much like you're aware, I mean, it took him, I think, a total of 15 years from start to finish writing these songs, getting it changed, just because he had time.
Yeah.
Because he had been touring with different bands, like Dokken or Whitesnake, and I think he even fell in a Night Ranger for a while. Just that amalgamation of things going on, constant recording, constant touring. It would be hard, to knock out a solo album like that, say versus a guy like maybe Steve Vai or Paul Gilbert, where their career is solo based.
Yeah.
Where all their time goes into just writing a solo album. So, it's really a gift to the listeners and a gift to his fans,
Oh yeah.
to put that together. So I'm very appreciative that he did that, and I hope he does it again.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, but I just hope not. We need to wait another like 15 years to get on the second album. I'm sure. I I hope. This will be so successful that he'll do another one in a few years. That'll be really
Oh
cool.
yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. So if we do have to wait another 15 years, I guess so be it, right? But hey, hopefully not.
Oh yeah, I'll still definitely wait though. Yeah. Yeah, so as you know, well, I think you too, but we are a big Reb Beach fan, and we love his guitar style, especially his tapping. I really like his tapping because how he does it is so smooth, so melodic. It doesn't sound just like a tapping, but yeah. So I heard that you took his personal lesson. How was it?
Oh my gosh, it was it was really kind of a dream coming to fruition. They always say, don't meet your heroes because, you'll be disappointed, or, they may not be who you picture them, like this ideal, in your mind. And it was really a pleasant surprise. Reb's just a genuine, nice, down to earth, average guy, just like, you or I. He's very humble, very open to questions, just very, very forthcoming and honest. On certain situations you ask about, like for instance, I asked him about, comfortability, like playing overtime, because, he's a professional touring musician. And I was asking him, how do you get over your nerves whenever you're trying to prepare for a show, for instance? And he said, you know what, after 30 plus years of playing in front of people, he's like, you always still get those jitters. It's like you're always nervous. He's like, but he's like, at this point in his career, it becomes more of an excited, nervous type thing. So it just things as simple as that. It just makes you realize that we're closer to these people than we think. It's they're human too, but they just have superpowers that we wish we had.
Oh yeah.
On the guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was very very helpful in showing me how to do a couple of techniques on guitar that I had asked. So if there's anything that people or fans just of rock music, 80s music, or just his music in general, I mean, he's the guy to ask, because he'll be able to show you riffs, licks, tips and tricks on how to play the songs right. And how to kind of, routine for practice, how to hone those skills. And just outside of that, he's just a fun guy to talk to. It's almost just like, talking to an old buddy, kind of like you or I. It was really cool. He put me at ease right away. You would think playing in front of someone, who's kind of, like your guitar, idol, like a guy who you feel kind of sets the bar for, the style that you play or what you do.
Yeah.
He just really put me at ease, and I was able to kind of play in front of him and, feel comfortable. So I think that's a hurdle for a lot of people, kind of playing in front of, folks who they're a fan of. So, I mean, don't hesitate, if you have the opportunity, it's kind of a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah,
because once the whole, the world changes again, this opportunity may not be around anymore. He may not have the time to do this with people.
He's always in the road, so, touring all over the world. So, this is the only situation that he's doing it, and I'm really glad that he is doing it, because without this kind of situation, this wouldn't happen, and for me, I think life is tough now. There's not much enjoyment outside. You got to be careful, but but this thing really, was a special moment with me when I took a lesson from Reb, and
Mm-hmm.
just as you said, he's a down to earth, such a really nice guy. He's even though he's a superstar, super guitarist for so many years. I was so surprised that he was such a friendly and normal, nice person, and it was just so cool, talking to him. I asked him for the 30 minutes. I wanted to ask you questions that I always wanted to know. So that was a 30 minutes. Just chit chatting and just chit talking with your your super hero is this
Mm-hmm.
amazing moment. And then the last 30 minutes was like, I want to learn something new, some new tappings styles. So that was
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, and actually, much like you, I've been so curious over the years to ask him, certain things, just questions about, the road, questions about, practice routine, questions of just about life in general from the perspective of like a rock star and, how their, daily life varies from ours. You just, it just across the gamut, your wildest imagination. So, for the first 30 minutes, I did the same thing. I asked him some questions and, got some really good insight. Some funny stories, some memorable things, that I'll carry with me. That I'm just, very, very privileged and honored to know. And again, for the last 30 minutes, I also wanted to learn some crazy tapping stuff on the guitar for fun. Because, his style just blows me away, as it does probably a
Yeah,
lot of people.
yeah,
So,
me too.
oh,
He's one of the top guitarists that you can tell who is playing because he got his original style. There's so many guitar player that's so good, but so your dog agrees with me too. Yeah, so
it's true.
yeah, if you listen to his solo, I can tell like who it is.
Oh, yeah.
There's like Steve Vai, Van Halen, Joe Satriani. Of course, Reb Beach in there. So it's so
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's really neat whenever someone on the guitar has such a unique voice that is just so, truly and only them. As we all do, but, sometimes our influences kind of overflow and, folks will sound like, their favorite guitarist so much to the point where it's, you can't derive which one is the other.
Mm-hmm.
And, no one can really, although maybe some of us may be able to play a lick or two of his here,
Mm-hmm.
it's like very much like Eddie Van Halen. It's like a lot of people, try to imitate, but no one can perfectly replicate.
Yeah.
So it's, just like the way that Eddie Van Halen swung riffs and whatever, in Van Halen, Reb just, has a very melodic and fluid style to him, and it's so uniquely him, and his note choice, it's just so different. It's just so different than the standard, like what you'd expect out of just a standard '80s shredder, kind of from that era. But yeah, it's inspiring. It's just very inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Totally agree.
But yeah, I also you had mentioned the guitar. I wanted to show you guys this guitar today.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you got
kind of
that rare guitar with you. That's
yeah,
so
just
cool.
in appreciation of
Nice.
Reb Beach because I had wanted one of these for many years. Looked far and wide and scraped the pennies together and
That's such a beautiful Hawaiian koa.
oh, I appreciate it. It
Yeah.
definitely is. And we can thank Reb for coming up with
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. When I first saw this guitar at this cutting loose instructional video, I was like, "What a cool guitar!" And
Yeah.
he's explaining about this wood material, Hawaiian koa, Palfero neck, and I was like, what? Never heard such a material like that. And I went to ESP and check out like what kind of materials they got. But I think I couldn't find Palfero. I think they had maple or alder, Hawaiian koa, but Palfero was really unique, I think.
Yeah, well, you figure at the time, I mean, this the birthday for this guitar has come up to 30th birthday, because this is in 91.
Yeah, 30th birthday. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, you figure 30 years ago when you went to build a custom guitar, there's so many options now, and even some manufacturers, even still like Ibanez are starting to, kind of broaden their horizon on the types of woods and materials that they were using, kind of varying finishes and what have you. But it was really hard to find, kind of exotic woods. They kind of kept it, par for the course across. Everybody was kind of using, maple necks with rosewood fretboard, which are very good building materials. And there's a reason that they've used them, historically, because, maple's very strong, rosewood's, very snappy on the fretboard. It's just, they're good woods. Body woods, the tone woods like mahoganies and alders and what have you. But yeah, I mean, it was the first time really that I had seen, such a, unique use of like koa, because I had seen it before, say on like, like high-end ukuleles, or, once in a while you'd see like a really, fancy like acoustic guitar that was like custom built, but it really wasn't that, common. Back 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're able to get some exotic woods through, say, builders like ESP 30 years ago is really really fantastic. And I'm surprised that that it was so forward thinking for the time. To just think outside the box and say, hey, listen, this is what I want. Like, build it. I'm surprised other companies hadn't done that.
Oh yeah.
So really, I mean, it's funny because although it's a 30-year-old guitar, the features and the materials and components, it feels much more like a modern instrument, and it's still kind of like it's almost like what's the it was kind of like a flagship for kind of like what was to come. In the future, especially with like all the styles like Strandbergs and all that, Steinbergers with all the cutaways in the back all that. It's just really, it's really neat. It was just a very, I feel like a guitar that was kind of ahead of ahead of the curve, or ahead of the time. So, Reb was very, insightful in that.
Can you hold it up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and all these years later, it's just still beautiful. I think the design is really,
that's
at least for me, it's timeless.
So I think they only made 400.
Yeah, some very low production number of the koa top models.
So it's really rare to find this even as a second hand.
Oh yeah,
look at that. That koa is pretty thick too.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. I'd say probably maybe like three, at least maybe 5/8 inch or something like that.
That's definitely a collector's item. You're a lucky guy. I want that. When it came out, it was so expensive that I couldn't afford it, and I was like, one day I want to have it, but still have no chance. It's really rare, even though it comes up. The price is still increasing, which is amazing, but I still agree. I understand the situation because it's just really rare. It doesn't come out to the market at all. Once in a while, you might see the painted version comes out on Reverb and stuff. But Hawaiian koa type, like yours, is really rare. So you're lucky, man.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool.
I'm very, very lucky and privileged and blessed to have it. Again, I searched for many years, and saved, long and hard, and it was, very rewarding to finally, have a dream like that come true. To, finally get one. Because it's just it. To me, it's more than a guitar. Some people look at it like it's a signature guitar of a certain artist, but the music means so much to me from that time, from those bands. And what this guitar and the shape and the wood and everything represents, although it's just wooden strings, it represents an era. It represents to me, to never give up. Because like if you're familiar with Reb Beach's story and Winger, they kind of had a hard go during the grunge era, with the whole MTV Beavis and Butthead thing, the dark era for these 80s bands. And through it all, like a lot of those bands broke up, disbanded, you never heard of them again. They kept persevering, pushing forward. And to me it means like every time I look at this guitar, it's like I worked so hard to search and save and finally get it together. It just means a lot. It's one of those things that is a constant reminder. It's just so much more than just a guitar. Although it's a great playing instrument as well. But it's just one of those things that's just going to have sentimental value.
That's
hope to pass it on.
Cool. So did you show that guitar when you had the lesson with Reb? Did you show it to him?
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, he was really excited to see that.
That's cool.
Yeah, he goes, oh my gosh. He goes, is that a Voyager in your living room? And I go, yeah.
Cool.
Because he had one of his Sir guitars.
Yeah.
And he was kind of showing me his Sir, Reb Beach Koa. And we were kind of talking about it a little bit. Oh yeah, and he's just like, gosh, he's like, do you have any idea how hard those are to find? And I go, trust me. I do. I said, and I'm very appreciative you came up with the design, and it was really cool to be able to thank him. And that's another neat memory that I have with this guitar is that he actually saw it, and kind of I saw his eyes light up and sparkle. It was just like he was a kid again, whenever he first came up with the design. And, you can tell it was a very endearing, time in his life, touring with the early days with Winger and stuff, and like playing these guitars. And, it was just really, really cool. And getting to play this guitar for him, that was just a, experience that, that's something I'll always have with me. And it's something that, and experiences like that too, things you live, people you talk to. I mean, those are things that no one can take away from you. So if you get the opportunity, like I said, try to get a lesson with them, or just, he even will, kind of hang out and chat with people on Skype like that during the lesson time.
Yep.
So it's valuable.
Yeah, definitely. You should do it if you're still thinking. I've never had a lesson with Reb, so what was it? It's official rebbeach@gmail.com. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you can email them, and they can set up a time with you, based off of your schedule. I think for people in other countries outside of the United States, they're trying to be flexible, because, for instance, where I'm at, it's nighttime. Where you are, it's daytime. And they're conscientious of that, and they're trying to make sure that everybody has an opportunity that would want to talk and meet with Reb. So I thought that was very cool as well.
Yeah. So going back to this.
Yeah.
So your favorite track is Attack of the Massive. What is the second one favorite?
Oh gosh, tough one. Oh man, I am such a big fan of from that Cutting Loose VHS video. You were talking about the lesson video. I love Cutting Loose and I love Black Magic, so it's a tie between those two, because those two are just classics in my mind. I mean, it
sounds much better. It's so cool though.
Oh yeah, it's great to hear it like remastered and with the with the new little overdubs he did in it, and like you're saying, like the David Coverdale piece and Black Magic. It's just, oh my gosh, it was a treat. It's really a treat. And I love both versions too. Like I'm still, kind of going back and forth and playing like the Fusion demos and also playing like the new album. And it's they're both just killer. They're both just killer tracks. Oh my gosh! But what's the second favorite for you?
Mine is Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's a cool one.
Such a beautiful. It's so positive melody. It makes you feel positive.
It's very uplifting.
Yeah, uplifting. And then at the beginning, it sounds like a Celtic music, but it totally changes when it goes to the main melody, and it is just so nice. I like it.
Still want to know how he does that opening, if it's tapping or what it is.
I think it's tapping. Tapping, but I don't know how he does it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Hopefully he'll come out with an instructional video.
I know. I actually want to learn some of the stuff that he did in this CD. Especially, the little robots. After 2 minutes, the synthesizer comes. It's kind of starting slow, and then the synthesizer comes in. It kind of builds up the tension. Oh man, the solo at Little Robot after 2 minutes, amazing. I love it. It's just so cool. So you need to check it out. This is such a cool CD. I'm so glad he released it, and I've been waiting so long. Thank you. Oh man, it was such a cool time to talk to you. Jeremy, it's great. I always want to share this exciting moment with somebody who really understands this.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there who are just thrilled that have been waiting for 15 years too. So it's always a pleasure to talk with you, friend.
It's really cool to see your rare RBM Voyager guitar. That is so cool. I love it.
Anytime, man.
Yeah, it's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, I just hope other people, get a chance to see it and kind of appreciate it as well. But we'll have to throw some B-roll footage in there for everybody.
Yeah, we gotta do some tapping style that's we've learned from Reb Beach. So we'll put that B-roll in there. All right.
There you go.
All right. So let's do this. Thank you, Jeremy.
All
right. Do this with me. This ending stuff.
All right.
1, 2, 3. OverDrive.
OverDrive your life.
Cool. Thank you so much, Jeremy from USA. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Take care, buddy.
All right, man. Bye.